My name is Enoch. This is my brother James, and this is the Blood Brothers Podcast. Let's go. Thank you again for tuning in to the Blood Brothers Podcast. You know how we do it. Before we get going, let's start this thing off right. Our Father in heaven, come to you right now. We thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity. Use us right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Talk to the people, man. Let them know what's up. Man. What we doing here?
Our
What we
mission
doing here?
statement will always be the same. Empowering men to become leaders in society under God's law. Consequently, women, men, and children will all learn the foundation of what a man is really supposed to be on this
What
beautiful...
a man is really supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
What a time we're in right now. Let me say to you, Happy Father's Day, my brother.
You know what? I would say Happy Father's Day to you too, but thank you, and I know it's a Happy Father's Day for me because I'm an amazing father.
That was my thing too.
Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to you too, though. But yeah, Happy Father's Day to you too.
Yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on Father's Day? Because I think I might have one of the weirdest views of Father's Day.
All right. Well, I think Father's Day is a Americanized tradition that they created to get more money out of people and celebrate fathers. I don't know. I really don't feel no way towards it. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a father every day.
Yeah.
And I celebrate myself every day. And shouts out to the greatest father, living above, watching over us. So,
yeah.
What about you? What's your weird analogy?
Father's Day, like, I understand Mother's Day. Like, they do a lot. They push out the babies, all of that.
Yeah.
But Father's Day is like, in my mind, is like, you're doing what you're supposed to do. It's like, I don't want to be congratulated for something that I'm supposed to be doing. But I get it. You want to give a day, but it's not a big deal to me because this is what you're supposed to be doing. Especially as a man, you're like the foundation. So you don't get all the glory kinda in my mind. Cause like I'm supposed to do this. It's like if I do my homework or if I'm working out, yo, you just worked out today. Good job. No, this is what I do.
No, I dig it. I could agree.
But I get it too at the same time. Like, it's like, yeah, shout out to the fathers.
Yeah, I think when I think about Father's Day, it's more of it's a celebrated thing, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, or a holiday. But it just draws the question of like, okay, well, what is a father? Right? That's what it starts to come down to. Because I look at it, I go, all these people celebrating Father's Day. Okay, cool. But are you really a father? Are you a daddy? Are you a provider? Are you the source? Are you the support system that you need for your family? Are you the father that is gonna create the next generation of leaders? Right? Are you willing to pay that price to elevate the next generation? That's what I think about fathers. So when people start saying, "Oh, Happy Father's Day," I mean, I look at some of y'all, and it's no offense, but I don't know what type of standards you have. I don't know what type of standards your woman has.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a rough. It's a rough title, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah. Father's Day. Yeah. So I mean, since we're talking about it, get into it. You talking about what a real father is? We might as well get into it. What is a father?
Fathers are, put it like this: fathers are obviously the foundation. In a foundation, there shouldn't be any cracks. No cracks in character, no cracks in work ethic. Your mind should be aligned with principles and laws that will make you successful, because every decision that a father makes, it affects the seed. And this starts before you even have a child.
Yeah.
Right? I make a joke, but it's a lot of truth in it. But I say that before the child is born, the child is alive in me. My sperm is actually alive.
Yeah.
Right? Until it meets that egg, and then boom, now my child is what do you call it, manifested, if that's what you want to call it, right?
That's true. That's true.
But all of the decisions I made up until that moment, it's gonna play a part in how my child comes into the world. So, you know, I think it's definitely one of those things where when we're addressing the foundations of fatherhood, and being a father and a daddy and an Abba, which is, you know, the source, you have to really consider, are you a real father or are you just stealing the title?
You know? Yeah, it's very important to prepare yourself for fatherhood.
Facts.
Because a lot of the times, and I think this is the problem, a lot of men are forced into fatherhood.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Without proper planning.
Okay, so when you say forced though, like get into that a little bit. What you mean forced?
Okay. Technical word is forced, but technically it's not forced because you made a decision that ultimately provided this. So if a man is immature, and like we say, when we say you should wait for marriage, it's not more so because of a religious standard.
Facts.
It's because of what comes with not waiting. So if you're, let's say you're 17 years old, you're having sex, unprotected, you're immature. Now you have a chance of getting the young lady pregnant. And now that she's pregnant, your first thought is, I'm too young to have a kid. But you wasn't too young to have sex. And what comes with sex ultimately is children.
That's very true.
So when you're ready, not ready for a baby that's coming, and then she actually has the baby, and you're in a sense running from it because you're already in your mind, I don't want to have this baby, I don't want it, I don't know why she's having this baby. Your foundation of that child's life is already starting off in the dirt. No solid foundation at all.
Facts.
So from there, I feel like that's where it leads to these situations where we see families that's so broken because it just started out that way before the baby was even here. Because you're having sex and then the baby came from it. You're not ready. You're a baby having a baby. You didn't prepare yourself to have a baby. So if you are in that child's life, you're not even ready to teach them what to do because your mindset is still ungrowth, if that's even a word. Like your mind hasn't grown.
Immature.
Yeah, you're very immature. So your standards for that child is already lacking.
Very true.
You know, so
that's very true.
It goes back to that.
I think when it comes to having children, obviously I was one of those young
scrappers
that had
definitely
a child
speak from
that when I was young, and I honestly I didn't know what I was doing per se, but I knew that I would never not be there.
Yeah.
I knew that was never an option. So where the problem lied with me was I, just like many other guys, and this has nothing to do with age, you look at your child and you go, hey, listen, that's my child. I'm going to be here for my child regardless. Not realizing that child is attached to somebody. And there is no such thing as disattaching that person because that other person is the mother.
Yep.
Now, if you decide to not be with the mother, there are plenty of things that come along with it. And through your immaturity, a lot of things can go wrong with that relationship. Honestly, through both parties' immaturity.
Yeah.
But I think what happens with men is or young men, I think because the minute you become a father and that child is with the mother, you lose a sense of, I don't want to even call it power, but
I see what you're saying.
Your reach is limited, right?
Yeah.
And until you get to the point where you're willing to go to court, you know, or you're willing to make it work with the mom, whichever one, right? Because they're both options. Then you get the realization of what's going on. So I always encourage people who have kids with another party, and I'm a big advocate for families.
Yeah.
So if you can make it work, make it work.
100%.
But I'm not a hypocrite either, though, because obviously I've had a situation that it wasn't supposed to be, and I've learned a lot from it, and I have a beautiful child from it, and a lot of great things coming. I think it really just depends on the mind frame that you have when you have the child, because I just hate to put a age or wisdom or decision making.
Yeah, because you're an example of it. You say that you were immature before it happened, but once the child came, you prepare yourself like, okay, I gotta be there.
Yeah, I did. But the thing about it was, and I mean, yes, I might have been mature in the aspect of I'm never gonna leave my child. I'm always gonna be here for Cam. I don't care what it takes. I'm gonna be here. But I was immature in the aspect of understanding what it is to co-parent, understanding
Outside
what
of
it is
having a child.
exactly, not being with the woman that has my child became a challenging situation, especially when you don't want to be with them. It's very challenging, right? So, and this goes for women too. I always encourage women, like, don't be that mom that tries to keep the child away from the father. Don't be that person. If the man wants to be involved, let him be involved. If as a man, you have to understand what your responsibilities are. You're there to provide, protect, love, cherish, all of these things that come along with being a father. So I look at fatherhood as a 24-hour day, 7-day a week job. Every decision you make has a consequence behind it, both good and bad. But yeah, man, it's definitely a talk about maturation process.
Yeah, and I don't think you don't realize it, because when I was young, I didn't think of sex and then babies. You just don't think about that for some reason. All it is, I'm trying to get mine, and that's it. You don't realize the consequences that can come from it. And to become a father, I feel like fathers need to go back to the youth and teach them the ways of becoming a man. Because in that maturity process, that's where you'll understand fatherhood.
It's true.
Because as you become a man, you understand responsibilities, you understand consistency, things like that, and all of that plays into being a father.
It's true.
Those like manhood, fatherhood, they all work in the same realm. So if you understand how to be a man, it won't be that complicated for you to understand how to be a father. So that's why I say for us, we've always been on this growth journey, this maturity process. So for us as fathers, it may not be as mentally difficult as some other people.
Very true.
That don't consistently work on themselves.
That's very true.
So fatherhood isn't just I have a kid, I got to take care of him. It's deeper than that, because who you are gets embedded in that child.
Very true.
So if you're not consistent, if you're not mentally strong, if you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, that can transfer into the child. So within having a child, that's why as us, even now, we have to continue to keep growing mentally, because our child is going to continue to keep growing, and we have to make sure we're giving them what they need.
It's true. That's it's a great way to put it. I mean, I don't want to say I got the best of both worlds, but I
would say you do.
I don't want to call it the best of both, because it's not. Because honestly, when I'm not with Cam, it's like mental torment, right? But I will say I can speak from both perspectives.
Exactly. That's why I say that. Because I can't speak from that angle.
Yeah. So
you can directly speak from that.
So I say this very often, and people think I always joke around about it. People that are close to me know. I go, listen, Cam can go wherever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
This up there,
yeah,
I got that.
Yep.
I train that.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm in control of that. I train. Everything that I instill, it goes right here. So he can be wherever he's gonna be. But at the end of the day, I got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he knows that. He knows that. And because our bond is so strong, it's a reflection of his
Hold on.
character.
I forgot we on iTunes and Spotify now. So when you say you got this, what he's doing is pointing to his head, his mind.
Oh, okay.
I forgot we on iTunes now.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if they're not on YouTube, they're gonna see what you pointing to. I just realized that. I'm like, oh yeah,
you're right. All right. So I'll put it in better terms. I cater to my son's mental needs because that's the source of his decision making. That's the source of his emotions. That's the source of his ultimately his perspective on what a man is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I heard this the other day, and I really appreciate Miles Monroe for saying this. I mean, obviously
He's
it was
the man
a biblical.
when it comes to talking about men.
Huh?
He's the man when it comes to talking about men.
Oh yeah, he get busy. But he said this, and I really took heed to it because I didn't understand it until he explained it. But it says, don't bring strife to your children. And one way you can really stress your child is saying one thing and doing another. Right? So when he said that, I reflected on myself, and it was more of a reflection of me as a child, because I always go back to my thought process as a child, right?
Yeah.
And I take into perspective, I'm like, yo, my pops told me so many things and did the total opposite. Right? And it stressed, and I understand when he's saying it stressed me. And when you think about stress, a lot of people think about, like stressed out, like maybe cutting yourself, or something extreme. But if you're talking about a child being stressed, what it really is confusing them.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? Stressing a child is confusing them, and that has a mental plague on their minds and as they think.
Wow.
And what happens is your thoughts don't make sense. So it wouldn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense. Like, how could you be married to my mom, but you can cheat on her? Right? But you're telling me I should get married. You know what I mean? That type.
Yeah, it's almost like a hypocrite.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hypocrite. That's what it is. It's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But being a hypocrite as a father, what that does is it causes confusion to the child. And within that confusion, you'll see more consistent bad habits out of the child, because ultimately what you become a reflection of is your father.
What if somebody would say because somebody could look at it a different angle and say, that's just your dad. He knows he's just messed up and he doesn't want you to go the same route.
Well, that would depend, because that would mean that you actually stop the action. Right? That would mean like I did it. So I can use myself for an example, right? When I was younger, I wasn't faithful. I was wilding.
Yeah.
Right? I had very low, I had very limited respect for women across the board, not just Cam's mom, just across the board. And I had very low or limited respect for myself, right? I had a child before I got married. I'm not with his mother. I hate the fact that he has to go through what he has to go through. But when I speak to him, I can go, this is where daddy messed up, right? But this is where it stopped too. Because do you see the family that we have now? Yeah. Right? So you're
showing it. You're proving it.
The proof is in the action.
I like
that. That is true, that what you're saying is just that a lot of fathers are so
they kind of use that as an excuse. I'm only just, I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a father.
But you didn't show me how you fixed it.
Yeah, like it's like a father saying, I smoke, but you shouldn't smoke.
That's why I can't specifically listen to trap music. I can't tell my son, don't do drugs, don't sell drugs, and that's all I'm playing around him. It's like it doesn't go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's called being holy and one in your thoughts, right? And consistent. So as a father, you have to consider your decision making, and what type of role model are you creating for your children, and not just for your children, because what happens is your children's friends start to look up to you, right? Even if they have fathers, right? I have plenty of kids that are in Genesis that have fathers, but they still look to me as another role model because I play that part in their life, and I take that very seriously. So, with all things being considered, you are pretty much, if you're a male, you are a role model. Period. Right? Even if you don't have kids, which should hold you to some type of standard of living. So this way, let's say a child you don't know is looking at you. Look, maybe if you just walking with your girl and he's, oh wow, that's my first time ever seeing a man hold another woman's hand. Like, wow, that's how you supposed to do it. He might not even know you. Right?
That's
So
true.
it's you have to be conscious of your decision making and what you consider admirable behavior. Right?
I feel like that plays into young girls too. If they see a man treating a woman the way she should be, it's like, oh, okay.
Nah, that's big. That's especially for you and Charlie. Y'all both got.
Yeah, we got girls. You got girl. Well, I got a girl. Charlie got 2 girls. So, matter of fact, since you said that, I wanna take an angle on something. We both have 2 kids, right? You got 2 boys. I got a boy and a girl. You have something that I don't have. I have something that you don't have. But we obviously know we would handle those things. So you have an older son, which he was 9 now, and I have a daughter. So I want you to speak from having a 9-year-old and how you have to father him, and I want to speak from having a daughter.
Okay. So
because
I'm speaking,
I don't know what
to
that
expect.
entails.
Cam is. I really raised him.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between being in your child's life and really raising them, teaching them, instilling things in them. There's things I instill in Cam that people have no clue about, right? But we know it. Right?
Yeah.
So when I look at his process and his maturation from a baby to a 9-year-old, there's certain things you start to pick up on. The first thing you want to pick up on is his relationship and his communication style. That's very important.
Yeah.
Right? That learning how your child communicates is extremely important because you can get lost in translation.
Yeah.
Right? Especially think about it, this is a very innocent age. It only increases as they get older. So you don't want to get lost in translation. So when I realized that my son was an expressive young man, he loves to speak, and he doesn't hold his tongue, what I started to do was encourage that. So I just, throughout the years, I just have dialogue with him, consistent dialogue. I constantly speak to him, and it goes back to how you parent. Some parents take if you speak back, if you talk back to me type of mentality, they take that as rude. Me, I take that as empowering. You better speak and you better explain yourself. But we're gonna do it in a respectable manner. So that means I get to say my piece. This is what you did wrong. This is what I feel. How do you feel about that? Well, Daddy, this is how I feel about this. And that process has increased our relationship to the point now and it's weird because he's only 9, but we're almost like friends. Like the same way me and you talk right here is the same way me and him talk. Anybody who's had an experience with him will tell you, like, it's almost like talking to a man, but it's because these are the principles that I instill in him. And I never want him to not speak up. And it's even more important because I'm not with him all the time. Right? So he'll tell me things and I'll just never say it. Me and him, we have just that type of relationship where he really expressed himself to me. I expressed myself to him, but he learned how to express himself because I used to express myself to him a lot. A lot. From very, very young. I was very open about my feelings to him. Many nights I cried on him. Many nights he wiped my tears. Right? So he's always known his father to be that person for him, where it was, Daddy's gonna tell me how he feels. right? So what it did was it created a affirmation process in him, right? That he constantly gets through our conversations. So he's constantly reassured of the man he's supposed to be, and I never overlook his achievements. I don't ever say you don't, like, if you get a 90 on the test, I don't know, like, you should have got 100. I celebrate your 90. Yo, that's what I'm talking about. That was great. And next time, let's do better. But we're going to celebrate how well you did right here, because that wasn't an accident. And I'm sure you put yourself and you put your all into this test.
Giving them that confidence.
Exactly. Constant affirmation and constant confidence. But on the same token, you have to be mindful of building a child that doesn't have tough skin, right?
That doesn't have tough skin?
That doesn't have tough skin. You don't want a child that's weak-minded. So you don't want to give so much affirmation that it doesn't leave any desire, right?
Yeah.
You want to do better.
Yeah.
Or you can't handle criticism.
That balance.
Exactly. Or you can't handle somebody talking junk to you.
You got to be able to handle that.
Bro, I talk the most smack to him. The most. I call him, we play 2K, I get crazy. You're a bum. You're a bum. And
he need that. He need that.
Right? But that I keep it in perspective. So when it comes to sports, I'm very stern with him, but in a loving, tough manner, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to school, I'm very delicate with him, because school and systems, that's one of the systems, are created to break children. Right? They'll put tests on them, they'll put labels on them. So there is no such thing as struggling in any subject. It's just we gotta do better. I don't punish him for if he does bad on tests. This thing, we just work on it. We're just gonna work. You'll never get in trouble for those things. But having a 9-year-old, I think, and instilling these principles in him so early, I think our teenage years is just the best yet to come. Honestly. Because
I can see that.
he gets to understand concepts. Right now, he just listens to what daddy says. Yeah. But he doesn't understand that there's concepts behind what daddy is saying. And that's what I can't wait to instill in him. But yeah, that's my 9-year-old experience.
That's fine. That's fine. So I have a 1-year-old girl.
My princess.
Right? Princess. And even before having a girl, I didn't even realize it. I looked at my Instagram, right? A post that I made in 2017. It said to my fellas, don't wait until you have a daughter to start treating a woman right. Now, I'm so glad that mentally I was already there before I even knew I was going to have a daughter.
Yeah.
Because it starts there.
Facts.
So now that I have a daughter, it's not so much where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't want her to be this. I don't want to be that. So much of how I treat my wife is going to determine her standards.
All of it, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. So with having a daughter, I know, because I have a boy and a girl. So I know there's this thing where that you treat a boy different than a girl. I can see why they say that.
Yeah.
But I try not to separate it too much. When it comes to her, I'm still as stern, still as the disciplinary, because I don't want her to ever feel like because I'm a girl, I can get away with certain things. And I feel like that's where this sneaky, low-key girl thing comes from, because if they see that a boy can do the same thing she does, but she kind of gets away with it, that'll play onto her later in life.
True.
Because now she'll know, like, oh, I can do certain things and I'm not going to get in no trouble. So I treat her almost the same way. When she gets older, I'm going to have the same type of sex talk with her as her brother, as why you shouldn't do it. And he's going to have that same talk. And with a girl, I make sure I love on her. Like, without a doubt. I'm always giving a conversation. That's my girl. I love you. You're beautiful. Because I don't ever want her to feel like she didn't receive that. And I feel like that's where a lot of women later on in life struggle because they didn't get that affirmation. So even though I'm tough with her, I'm still giving her a whole lot of love. Cause she can be annoying. that little girl be turned up. That little girl be turned up. So I always make sure I try to balance it. And the most important thing for me is the way I talk to my wife in front of her. I don't ever want to let her see me yelling at my wife, even though we don't really yell at that.
Not really yelling.
We get into little stuff like I was making a chair, this little toy chair, and I'm like, yo, babe, why ain't you like you complaining? But it was never nothing serious. Yeah. But even after that, it's always love. So when she sees that, I feel like that'll play a part in who she becomes.
That's true.
You know, so I'm very conscious of how I talk to my wife, how I treat my wife, how I love on my wife when she's around, because at the end of the day, they're gonna, even though I'm treating them the same, they're gonna grow up in different worlds. It's just how it is. She's gonna grow up in different world. My son's gonna grow up in a different world. I just want to make sure she's ready for whatever comes at her. She's gonna be able to hold her own. She'll never have to rely on another man. That's my biggest thing. That's why I don't want to baby her. She has to be able to hold her own and not have a man be the one that takes care of her. She has to be able to love herself. First of all, she has to be able to love herself and not have to wait on somebody else to love her. Because initially, I'm starting to realize, fathering a daughter, I'm her first love in a sense.
True.
You know,
you're her first relationship with the opposite sex.
Exactly. So the way I treat her is almost going to be her expectation.
It is going to be her expectation.
Yeah. So that's why with a girl, I know you want a girl bad. It's a different love, man. It is. She just come over, give me kisses. Like it's a different love, man. My boy want to run around, jump, but with a girl, it's definitely a different love, man. I love it, bro. I love it.
So let me ask you this then, right? So I've always had this. This has always been my argument when it came to having a boy and a girl. I always had a problem with a man who didn't, I don't even want to say love the same, because it's not just not loving the same, but
yeah,
the only thing I can think of is sometimes men look at intimacy with their sons and they call it soft.
Yeah, that's right. True.
Or they'll be more intimate with their daughters.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they're going to need that more.
Yeah.
But what I've learned as a father of boys is that the intimacy process is a consistent.
Oh, yeah.
It's a consistency.
Oh, yeah.
So
definitely
the same love and affection that you feel like she needs, I'm pretty sure EJ needs too. Now,
yeah,
EJ,
I gave him the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say this. It really depends on, I'm not going to say it depends on the child, because EJ put it like this. I know my nephew.
Yeah, and
he don't sit still for nothing.
Yeah, he has his moments when he want to cuddle.
Barely.
I love those moments, but
barely, right?
Don't come often.
But then I'll say this, right? I raised Cam to cuddle with me.
Yeah.
To play with me.
Yeah.
And Christian the same way.
Yeah.
So when I think about it, I'm like, there's really no difference per child, meaning boy or girl.
Yeah.
I think the real, not the issue, but the real challenge is how to decipher what child needs at that moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's not so much I'm not going to give it to you. It's not that. It's you're going to get it no matter what. But I just want to make sure when it's the pivotal moments, I'm there.
Exactly.
Right? So if it's a hug you need, I'm there. If you need a little bit more discipline, I'm there. If you need, you know, a little more empowerment, I'm there.
Yeah.
Right. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the challenges are when you're speaking on parenthood, especially fathers, because it's in our culture. What is a man, right? That starts to become that stereotype. Like, what is a man?
Tough. You a
Yeah,
man.
it's like everything is just tough, and it's
Almost
like,
a
no,
man is the only definition. You a man. That's the
exactly.
definition.
That's the definition. You a man. You got to be a man, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I took on the approach because I was raised like that, and what it did to me is it really broke my confidence. Right? For a lot of years, I didn't believe within myself that I was worthy of, I don't want to say love, but I didn't feel loved, and I didn't feel like I was appreciated, or I didn't feel good enough, right?
Wow.
So it wasn't until I turned 16 when I had a man invest time into me with basketball, and he really trained me. Like, he was like, yo, I believe in you. And that was the first time I ever heard a man tell me that he really believed in me.
Wow.
Right? But because I was so broken, him just saying it wouldn't have been enough. Right? He took the time to actually work with me on something I love to do, and empowered me, the boy, to believe in himself. So that's when I realized that was such a pivotal part of my thoughts. I don't think that I would have been able to be a good father at a young age if that man didn't come in my life and tell me he believed in me, because I didn't believe in myself. Right? A lot of the things that I did was a reflection of that. I mean,
so he prepared you for that in a sense.
He just having the affirmation of a man tell you that he believes in you, and then he backs it up with support, with action, with consistency. That was what I needed, right? So he came in at a time where I needed it. So as a father, and even as a husband and a friend, you have to study your people that you're close to, because like, even me and you, there could be times where we joke around, but there'll be some times where you don't need me to be a clown, right? You need me to be a support system or a friend just to hear you out, right? Or your wife, maybe she does want to do something, right? But she doesn't need that rough love. She needs that. Even if it might be an annoying, you be like, come on, let's go. Right?
You got to be able to be diverse.
Exactly. You got to be able to be like water and form to anything. Right?
Exactly.
So,
you can't be that guy like, nah, that's just not me. I'm not lovey-dovey. That ain't me.
Exactly. That's a recipe for disaster.
That's a big problem. That's a
huge problem. So oftentimes when I discipline Cam, or I discipline any of my children, because Christian get it too. Christian hang out all of that. I don't play, right? But more so because Cam, because he's older. But people think it's crazy because it's like I discipline him, and then I give him a hug and a kiss after, and I say, all right, go ahead, go about your business, man. Right? Because I taught him there's a difference between being disciplined and getting in trouble. Trouble is severe. You're in trouble. Discipline is just a quick correction. Make the correction and keep it pushing. Right? We don't got to dwell on that. Now, if you're in trouble, now you know, we're going to have a real sit down. There's going to be a consequence behind it. So I just always think about, and I think about my daughter. I'm not going to say I don't think I'm going to have daughters, because
you're going to be a softie.
Nah, it's not even that. I really think that I'm meant to raise men.
Nah, nah.
I really feel like that. And as much as I want a daughter, I would be shocked if I got one.
Nah, I feel you on that.
I would really be shocked. I feel like for me, a daughter would have to probably be the last child. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I tell Cam all the time, now that he got a little brother, now it's really on. I'm like, yo, he's watching you. There's no time to mess up. There's no time to be playing around. You got to be on your P's and Q's. You got to make sure you set a standard for your brother the same way daddy sets a standard for you. So now I get to instill that responsibility in him at a young age. Right? It's a lot of things that come into play as a parent, and you just have to be a student of your family. That's the best way to put it. Be a student of your family. be wise in your decision. Sometimes, they need that rough conversation. Sometimes they just need you to be loving. Sometimes they need you to be supportive. But whatever the need is, you have to be the I am.
You know what I mean? You want to know, I want to thank you too, because with the whole discipline thing, you showed me, I learned a lot from you because you had a kid way before I had my first.
Yeah,
so
man. I was a little
kid,
I
learned
was a baby.
Yeah. So I learned so much from you as far as the discipline, how you say you discipline him, but you love on him right after.
Yeah, that was
me growing up. It wasn't like that.
Who you telling?
It was not like that. After the discipline, you better say something else. Like, it was no, you just pretty much went away and just sat with your thoughts.
That's it.
That's it. And that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And learning from you is you taught me how to, when you discipline, you got to explain to them what they did wrong.
Have to.
You got to love on them after. And I incorporated that into my parenting because I grew up very stern, so I have that stern bone too. So now, and I made a lot of mistakes, even though I grew up like that, I turned out all right. So I could only imagine if I had that balance where I would probably wouldn't, because I kept making the same mistakes.
Yeah, but over you probably, but why? Think about it. When you keep making the same mistakes over and over, it's because you don't understand what you're doing.
Exactly. And I didn't understand that.
Exactly. That's why the conversation of discipline is even more important than the consequence.
Yeah.
Right? Because even though you love on them, right? I love you to death. Go in your room. Right?
Yeah.
It didn't take the consequence away. I just want you to understand. I love you.
Yeah.
But you're still going to do this punishment, my man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying 100% because I grew up like that too. Like, I used to get washed up.
Yeah, OD.
What, boy, there was some times I couldn't even sit down. Right? Couldn't even sit down. And for me, it was a little worse because, see, at least your parents stuck it out, right? So you still, like, it was a discipline, but y'all still had y'all family. I was getting beaten. I was already broke. Right? I was. It was
broken.
I was already broken. You wasn't like being hurt, but it was nothing compared to the emotional damage I was experiencing.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So it went from forget sitting with your thoughts. It went to the hatred. Right? That's what it took. See, and this is why you can't discipline a child to hatred. Right?
Yeah.
You must discipline to teach.
Yeah.
Disciple, discipline, those go hand in hand. It's teaching.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's teaching. I want to teach you. You're my seed. You're a representation of me. I have to, if your child doesn't know something, right, it's because you're not teaching them. Right? It's the foundation of the home is centered around a man being the I am.
Yeah.
So whatever you have to be, meaning at that moment, or maybe not even at that moment, in preparation, right? So an example is this, right? You're saying, Leah, you don't want her to have to depend on any man, correct? You're preparing her for that.
Yeah.
Not just saying, Leah, you don't have to prepare, you don't depend on no man. Okay, don't you listen? You don't need to depend on no man, baby. I love you, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Doing that, you're saying I'm gonna have property waiting for you.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right? I'm gonna teach you financial literacy. I'm gonna love you with no conditions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be your I am. Right. So your words are just matching your actions.
Exactly.
Which ultimately means that she's gonna believe you because she sees it.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, of course. I mean, look, think about it. She's gonna meet a guy and go, I mean, I have 2 properties already. Yeah. So I just want to know what you're bringing to the table before I waste my time.
This is why, like, CJ is gonna only be the only one worthy enough. He's gonna be the only one worthy enough.
Yo, I know people think me crazy. Our kids are pretty much the same age. and we're aligning their marriage. Our wives think we're crazy. Whatever.
Yeah.
They think we're gonna force it. I'm like, we're not gonna have to force it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a forced thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be organic, and they're gonna see why, because it's the character of the two children.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they grow up, obviously hormones gonna kick in.
Mm-hmm.
In those same conversations, think about it. If you having a conversation with your daughter about, listen, you're not gonna have sex till marriage, and I'm over here talking to Christian about, hey, listen, son, you gotta wait, right?
Yeah.
They're both gonna have that same tone.
Yeah.
Their language is gonna be the same. You know how easy it is to understand the same translations?
Exactly.
Right?
You know how many relationships break up off the fact that you want to have sex and you don't? It's like, what? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah,
and it's done right there.
That's 100% true. The translation. You get lost in translation. It's like, why is it that there's different translations? Because men operate under different principles, right?
Yeah.
So a man might think, you know what, I want my son, I don't want him to hold this virginity for his wife because I want him to test the waters and see what he likes, right? Yeah. But then you'll come into our translation where like, no, we want you to hold it because the woman you're going to get is going to be your only appetite. Right? Two different translations. So he's only going to understand the translation that was taught to him. Exactly. Now, if a girl brings another translation, it's going to challenge him. Yeah. And then this is where the support system comes in. Like, listen, that translation is off. Yeah. What I taught you is right. So it's like I said, when it comes to fatherhood, all of these things play a part. I sit back and I watch men and I see what type of fathers they are. Yeah. And I see what they promote. Yeah. And I applaud you for the moments that you have with your child. But let me tell you something. Raising a child is not a momentary thing. Yeah. And the things you do behind closed doors, I promise you, those will come to light.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What would you say one biggest takeaway from your father that you say helped you? Like one of the biggest takeaway from your dad?
Jeez, he had so many non-takeaways.
Well, what would you say one thing that he's like, yo, he gave you was like, yo, this is definitely from my pops.
He definitely gave me the entrepreneur spirit. Yeah. Right. Right. And when I say the spirit, I don't mean some spooky, just the mentality. Yeah. Let me correct my language. People are, oh my God, there's a spirit of entrepreneurship. No, there's not. You cannot receive that. Okay. Hallelujah. All right. When I say that, I just mean the mentality. I watched him. He was a real estate agent, broker, right? And he definitely was crushing the real estate game at a young age. Like, yeah. So what I seen from him was ownership. He owned a restaurant. He owned a real estate office. He owned building. He owns so many properties, right? And what it did in me, it taught me like, yo, I gotta get something of my own. Yeah. But the difference between me and him was, right, he got these things and he got confused on why God blessed him with it. Right? You don't get anything as a man for you. You get it as an opportunity to spend more time with your family. Period. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Me, I'm seeking the same productivity, same wealth, same influence, same success, but it's just because I just want to be able to spend more time with my kids. I want to be able to pick them up from school, do homework with them, right? Spend more time with other kids, be a mentor to them, and live a great life under and with my family, under God's law. So that's what I took from him. And obviously I had to twist it because I seen God giveth and he taketh. Yeah. Right? Yeah. He giveth you it. And if you violate, he taketh it. He taketh it. Give me that back. Give me that. You're bugging. Okay.
If people understood our conversation with God, be like, yo, y'all talk to God like that?
Bro, what? Me and him be getting busy, yo. Sometimes I ain't gonna front. There's some things I be saying, and I start laughing about, yo, I'm a clown. And I be in my mind imagine him laughing with me like, yo, you're really a clown, my G. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, listen, when you got a relationship, it's a constant conversation anyway. So
exactly. That's what you gotta understand. Relationship, man. It's
yeah.
not this whole just no.
The fog, the fog,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
spooky fog.
yeah. No, we talk like yo, pops. I know what you was doing right there. I see what you was doing. I see what you was doing.
That's really the homie. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know. People be bugging, man. Like I feel,
yeah.
and even more than anything, I would say, although, and I thought about this actually the other day when that same example with Miles Monroe, because I almost lost my faith behind my pops because he claimed to be this holy, righteous man, right? Constant TD Jakes, constant speaking biblical context, constantly instilling that, right?
Yeah.
Or what I thought was instilling, right? But then his lifestyle didn't match it.
Didn't match. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I became resentful of the church in a way, right? Because you're telling me that you're supposed to be this holy man, but a holy man don't cheat on his wife. A holy man don't scam. A holy man don't do all these things. I'm not saying he did all of those things, but I'm just saying you live a righteous life, right? You're in right standing. You present yourself in a way that if somebody goes, yo, your father is such and such, the only response you should hear is, yeah, that's a good man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good man right there.
Yeah.
And that means a lot. But tell me what about you? What did you learn from your pops?
One of the biggest takeaways from my dad, he was a very upright man. He had his religious flaws.
We called them religious flaws. Whew.
Yeah, he had his religious flaws.
What you mean by religious flaws? You got to
he had great intentions. Basically, for an example, the church culture of things. Ooh. Like, the no long hair, things like that, no earrings, things like that.
Yeah,
I guess. That thing. But he was an upright man, faithful to my mom. Married for 30-something, almost 40 years.
Well, I've been married long and I've been alive.
Yeah, for real. And one of the biggest takeaways I had from him was his work ethic. His work ethic was second to none. Like, I didn't even notice growing up until later on. When we were living in Brooklyn, he worked in Brooklyn, but he got a job in Long Island just to get us out of Brooklyn. He was trying to set us up to move to Long Island. So when we were kids, I wouldn't see him that much, but he was going all the way back and forth to Brooklyn and Long Island to work. And I'm like, wow, he went through all that just to give us a better life.
Facts.
And it's crazy because how you say like, yo, this guy never calls out of work. Like I'm always at work. It's just this work ethic that's been instilled in me that you just constantly get after it. And that's one thing that he's given me. Like, I'm always ready to work. Like, I wake up energized to go to work. I don't have a problem with it. Working hard. Like, every job I've ever had, there's nobody that can ever say I wasn't a hard worker. Like, people don't understand. There's a difference between you work hard and you're a hard worker. When you just work hard, that's something you can do momentarily. But when you are a hard worker, that is you. That's who you are.
That's your DNA.
Exactly. So that's just in me. I'm a hard worker, and I definitely give that to my pops because he grinded. He just retired. He's 67 now. 67. But even when he retired, he was like, if this corona stuff didn't happen, he wouldn't have retired because he likes going to work. He was like, I'm not stressed out. I go to work, drive the bus, go park up, chill, and that's it. And I'm like, dang, you still just want to work. But I have to take that work ethic, like you said, the entrepreneur spirit, and take that into something else. I have to take that work ethic and change it to the mindset where I'm not working a job and then I'm going to retire from that job and live on a pension and relax. Yeah. I'm going to take that work ethic and broaden it outside of the workspace.
Absolutely. As you should.
you know, so I'm going to take what he instilled in me and do more with it. So that when my son, he's going to take whatever I give him and do more with it. And that's what fathers have to understand. You have to get to your ultimate peak so that that becomes a normal to your child. It has to be normal to your son to see you being great, so that that's normal to him.
Yeah.
So that for him, now that's going to be his starting point.
Great is the starting point. Yeah.
Great is the starting point. You know, because we always say, "Oh, we're way behind the totem pole," but you need to set that standard to where, all right, I ended off here. I ended off with 5 properties, grossing $1 million a year. He's gonna look at $1 million a year. That's like my pops used to make that. I'm trying to get 5, 10 a year, and then that's how the generation continue to grow. Because now they have that mindset like, oh, this is normal. Like for an example, me growing up, sneakers, we couldn't get it. I couldn't get the Jordans. I couldn't get all the nice stuff.
So you was getting the Air 99s.
Not even Air. It was Payless 99s. Air.
The Airwalks. The Airwalks.
The minute I saw anything Air, I was like, what? I probably didn't get my first like name brand shoe probably till middle school. But it's like, so once I got not real talk. And so I was trying to get Jordans. You know, that was what I was trying. I was like, yo, I never could get Jordans. I got a job. I'm trying to get Jordans. But good thing I grew out of that.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you something. Do you feel like you should give your kids all the best stuff now? Like as far as clothes, whatever they want, so that later on, because it's two things. You give them all the sneakers and all that now, so they don't worry about it. So later on in life, they're not spending their money on it, right? Or you giving them all them Jordans and stuff could spoil them. How do you look at that?
I don't believe in spoiling a child. I believe that, all right, this is the best analogy I can give. So Cam wants to buy video games, right? I told him he had to do chores to get video games.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I double back on it because I'm like, look, I'm not about to give you something for you doing something that you're supposed to do. Right. So the things that I give you, it has nothing to do with your actions per se. It's more of, look, this is the type of lifestyle we live. Yeah. But the expectation for you to be who you're going to be, it's not predicated to gifts. I don't like to attach gifts with actions. Yeah. Right? Because then that becomes the motivating factor. Wow. Right? That means that if I do this, then I'm going to get this, right? If I give 10% to the church, then God is going to give me this. Right? No. No, that's not how it works. Yeah. I want you to understand the concept. So when it came to the game, right, I scratched the whole thing. I said, man, go order your game. He said, but what about da-da-da? I said, do it anyway. Do it. Just do it. Yeah, just do your chores anyway. Who cares? Wow. Go get the game. Wow. I don't work hard. I don't put myself in a position to give you everything that you want to not give it to you. Wow. So listen, I'm gonna do it anyway. Here, take it. But you're gonna do what you're supposed to do anyway because your action is not attached to a gift. You do what you're supposed to do when nobody's looking, number one. And on top of all of that, do it just because it's the right thing to do. It has nothing to do with gifts. Wow. So I took away the
I like that.
I took away the gift mentality because I don't want you to want for nothing. If you think about it, when they say, what do they say? If you ask God for something, he's not going to give you rocks and bricks and stuff, right?
Facts.
He'll give you your heart's desires.
Yeah.
Not because you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're already supposed to be doing that. So if I'm already living a righteous lifestyle and I'm representing the kingdom in the right fashion, right? I'm already doing what I'm supposed to do. When I come to him, I don't go, yo, you know I don't cheat on my wife, right? Could you give us a house? I don't do that. Right? I don't do that. I come to him with confidence, knowing that I'm already living the same, the right lifestyle. Yeah. And the same thing goes for my kids. When he came to me, he didn't do anything wrong. He was doing his work in school. I mean, I incorporated the chores, but I was gonna do that anyway.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
I was gonna do that anyway. So what's the difference? Like, no, you want the game here, get the game. What about my chores? Well, do those anyway. That has nothing to do with the game. You should do what you're supposed to do regardless. So whether I say yes or I say no, you're still gonna do what you got to do. So
that takes away the okay, I'm doing this so I can get this.
Yeah, it takes away that. What is that realistically? Because truth of the matter is, all because you do something, mean you're gonna get something out of it, right? That's just the truth. I mean, you might get gratification internally, which is the best, the best treat anyway. But for the most part, when you're talking about physical things, I don't even like to put physical things on a standard where he feels like they're important. Like, oh, I can get that. Yeah, that's nothing. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, can I get these sneakers? Yeah. What are sneakers? Here, go get them.
You don't put high value on it.
There's no value to this thing.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not gonna place value by telling you, yo, you got to do something to get it and make it seem like it's more than what it is. It's a tangible thing. It can come, it can go. Who cares about it? It's not important. What's important is that you just do what you have to do. I think what's more important is the fact that I can get you it, right?
Yeah.
And that I can provide that for you as my son, as my child, as my bro. The other day, like I didn't like what Mario had on. I'm like, all right, come on, time to go shopping. Straight like that.
Yeah.
Like that's how you supposed to take care of yours. Like, look, go and ask me what I got. Well, I bought a birthday outfit, right? But if it wasn't for my birthday, I wouldn't have got nothing because I don't care.
Oh, yeah, my boy birthday this week. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? I'm turning 30 out here. You feel me? I'm a grown man.
Go.
You feel
30
me? I'm playing with your boy.
Yeah.
But it's just you don't want to attach decisions to presents.
Yeah.
Just do what you're supposed to do no matter what. If you want something, I got you, bro. Yeah, you want sneakers? Here. You want the game? Here. You want whatever you want. You want a car? Here. You supposed to be doing what you're supposed to do anyway. So when we had that conversation, I shouldn't have to go through a resume, a checklist of things you have done. You should have already been doing them, right?
Wow.
So I mean, and then the question can say, well, what if you're not doing it? Are you not going to get it for me? No, I'm still going to get it for you because if I would be a hypocrite to say if you didn't do them, right? But I am going to have that dialogue, which where I'm going to talk about responsibility, but not attached to any gift. I'm
gonna have doing it just cause.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it, but it's not gonna be attached to any of your decisions because everything is not gonna have a shiny gift behind it.
That's true. That's true.
Right? Everything's not gonna have a shiny gift. So
that's good.
So, but some people will go, yeah, but if he doesn't do it, then why would you get him something? Because at the end of the day, that's two separate conversations. You wanting something is something totally different than you being responsible.
Wow.
Right? I mean, you could make the argument that being responsible gets you things, right? But I'm the father. I'm the provider.
Yeah.
My role as a teacher is teaching him responsibility not to get things. You want to be responsible because it's the right thing to do. It has nothing to do with getting things. So
that's giving him principle.
Exactly. I'm teaching you the concept of responsibility. I'm not teaching it through a gift. That doesn't work. That's why a lot of kids, they'll get mad if their parents say no. If Cam asks me something and I don't want to get it for him, I just say no. Right?
There's no explanation.
No, I don't have to explain it. It's just no. No, or I'll say no, we're not getting it right now.
Yeah, so that way he can't say, but I cleaned the room.
Exactly.
See?
Exactly.
Oh, y'all getting some nuggets, boy.
Oh, listen, I've been doing this 9 years, bro. I know parents that's been doing it longer than me that still don't get the concept of what a parent is supposed to be. Shouts out to God for really teaching me how to do this because I promise you I didn't learn this by myself. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But you don't ever want to attach anything tangible to responsibility, to decision making. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous. Right? Yeah. You always take care of your family. Simple. Just take care of your family. I'm taking care of you. Can I get this? Yeah, you can get it. Or no, you can't get it. It has nothing to do with anything else. You know, but I watch people and I see what people do. And I just be like,
yeah, because that's always been the thing. Like, all right, did you clean your room? All right, did you take out the garbage? All right, yeah, you go to the mall. So now, when you ask me to go to the mall, you already did those things. It's like, you're supposed to do those things.
Now you feel entitled to a yes.
Exactly. Now you feel entitled. But I did all of this. I did. So, that has nothing to do with anything.
Nothing.
Wow, that takes away almost. It's almost like a leverage that they try to build. There's no leverage.
There's no leverage, bro. There's no leverage in parenting. I'm the parent. Okay, it's my role. It's my. Because think about it like this: if you come to me as my son and you want something, right? I always look at parents who can't afford these things and can't get these kids these things. You don't think that they want to get them for their children, right? You don't think that? Come on, let's be serious. Every parent wants to provide their child the best life. There is no such thing as a parent that doesn't want to get their child everything their heart desires, unless it's going to hurt them. It's just the truth. Let's not attach it. Let's not attach it to chores or whatever. And I did it for a half a second.
Yeah.
And I literally, and let me, to be honest with you, I did it in a joking manner. It wasn't, I didn't even do it with like any real sincerity. Because if I was being serious, then he would have had to earn it, right?
Yeah.
But after a certain point, I'm like, I don't really care. Boy, just clean your room, clean the den, clean the thing, go buy your game, but just make sure the stuff is done. But it has nothing to do with it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, just make sure your stuff, you gotta, because think about it, if you get to the principle of it, you just want to live in a clean house. Having a clean house is more important. Cleanliness is close to godliness, right? So you want to be in a clean environment. That's all it is, son.
You know what's crazy? It's almost like that plays into like the whole so-called Father's Day. I don't expect nothing from Father's Day because my wife loves on me all the time. So it's like Father's Day, I'm like, yo, it's Father's Day. I take care of the kids. I do this. Like, what am I? Nah, like I'm not gonna say like why you didn't. It's Father's Day. You supposed to. No, it don't work like that. But that goes back to when you was a child. When you did something, you got something for it.
Yeah, it's nothing. Who cares? That means nothing. I'm your father. Okay, understand what that means. That means I'm your source.
Yeah,
I'm the one that's supposed to take care of you.
Yeah,
right. I'm supposed to provide for you. That's my responsibility. Yeah. That's not your responsibility to earn that. It's my job to do it. It's not something that you're supposed to earn. You don't have to earn me being responsible.
That's a fact.
That sounds crazy.
That's true.
Right? You didn't ask to be my son. Obviously, you're going to want things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't get it. I see it sometimes. I just like, whatever. You know?
That's definitely one of those habits that you're going to have to really consciously work on. Because I'm probably going to have to consciously work on that. Because I'm pretty sure, well, not really, because he don't really act so much, but
they're young.
Him stuff.
As they get older, listen. That little Xbox, $400. Them games, $60. Listen, I tell him, bro, I got it for his birthday. He told me he want PS5. I'm like, you get PS5, bro. What do I care? Listen, you're gonna do what you're supposed to do anyway because I'm training you like that. I'm raising you like that. I don't gotta worry about you trying to earn what daddy's supposed to do for you. You don't gotta earn that. Just the same way you don't gotta earn my love or my affirmation. I tell him all the time.
You don't want for nothing.
You don't have to want for nothing. I tell him all the time, yo, bro, listen, ain't nothing you could do that I won't love you.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. So at the end of the day, no, I got your back. Period. It's simple. This is it. Like they make it so complicated because what it is men are so broken that they don't understand how they were broken because they don't want to dive into their feelings of right? That's all it is. Like I was.
Please go back and watch Emotions if you haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was broken by my pops. You know what I mean? I think I can remember one time my pops told me he loved me. One time.
Wow.
One time. And this was after his surgery. He had surgery. He was on his bed. And that was the first time I hugged him as I don't even remember, and probably since a kid, like maybe 3, 4. Right? That's I hugged. He hugged me at my kindergarten graduation. And he hugged me when he was in the hospital after he got a surgery.
You remember that?
2 times. These things don't go away. Right? Wow. So what am I gonna do? And shout out to Dr. Miles Monroe because he ended the sermon. He said, you know what? I want y'all to remember this. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what they did because it's your turn now. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. That excuse, you can't hold on to that.
I said, listen, man. At the end of the day, it's my turn now.
Yeah.
You already made your mistakes. That's on you. You got to live with that.
Yeah.
When it comes to me and mine, the buck stops here. Them generational curses stop right here. That's it. They never gonna touch my kids. I'm not playing that game. So
that's very important that you had that mindset. And I could say, as far as you and Charlie has that mindset, his father wasn't there. The way you guys were able to take what you didn't receive and totally flip that and to become great fathers, I feel like a lot of men just miss that.
Yeah.
Because they're in the same tone that they say that they're a man, I do this, they'll still say, nah, man, I ain't with all that. Like my father ain't do that. So you say you're a grown man, but you're still talking about what your father did that hurt you.
Yeah.
So you're not fully a man yet because you weren't able to overcome that.
You're by age, you're a man, but up in the mental state of you, you're still a child. You're still a boy. That's why that analogy. When I was a child, I thought as a child.
Yep.
When I became a man, I put away my childish ways and I thought like a man.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not. That's all it is. I mean,
you don't continue to harbor something that you're saying you're grown from.
I'm grown, but it hurt me. Okay,
I'm grown, but so that's why I can't be affectionate.
Yeah, my father never gave me, so I don't kiss you. My father never kissed me, so I don't kiss you. What? Sounds stupid.
Yeah.
You sound crazy.
Yeah.
What is that? I don't get it. What are you trying to prove? You trying to prove that your dad wasn't effective, so you're not effective because your dad wasn't effective?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now guess what? You're a failure.
Yeah, it's all an excuse. It's all an excuse, and we have to get rid of that. We have to get rid of that because that doesn't take you anywhere. That doesn't help the next generation. That doesn't help anyone around you, and that keeps you stuck.
Stuck in the quicksand, and eventually you'll drown.
Yeah, and this is why we have to keep going with this and actually turn what our mindset is into a platform that can reach multiple men.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
I had some young dudes to come to me today. I ain't gonna front. 22, 23. Y'all like it. Y'all different. Y'all giving us something different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what I said to them? I said, yeah, we got enough deadbeat dads out here. We got enough men embarrassing us out here. Why not give y'all something that
exactly
use? And let me remind you, they not in our generation at all. So when he said it, I said, okay. I kept it simple. I just, talk to God, yo, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? We're going to keep on going how we got to go, but you do what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, you the orchestrator of this. We just, what do they call it? The managers,
Yeah, managers. Yeah. We really got to change that Happy Father's Day to the fathers doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like,
good job for doing what your responsibilities are. Yeah. If you're even doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right. We got to change that. I hate that. They'd be like, yo, to the fathers that are actually fathers, shouts out to yo, Happy Father's Day. I'm like, dang, bro. Like, why that got to be the stigma? Like, why it can't be normal to be a father and doing what you're supposed to be doing?
Yo, keep it a buck, though. You'd be surprised, man.
Do you think that's systematically just put in our heads that there aren't good fathers? Because that's the stigma.
You talking about good black fathers?
Yeah, it's like you never see in the white community they say, "Look, shout out to all the fathers doing what they're supposed to be doing." But there is other communities besides the black community where their fathers aren't there. But for some reason, the black community is just that's all that's out there.
All right. Do you really? Should I even dive into this?
Should this be a whole nother podcast?
Do you even want me to go into this? Because
no, I know why, but I just
let's just. Do you want to end it on this? Because
we can end it on that.
Let's just end it on that. The stereotype is that black fathers aren't there. Are there black fathers that are there 100%?
Yeah.
And we're just gonna say there are truths to stereotypes. But they're also, lies as well.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go into that because if I go into the systematic aspect of it and how it plays into the mental state of the black man, it's going to be too much.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I mean? But listen.
We just got to keep doing what we're supposed to do.
We're going to do what we're supposed to do. And if y'all really want to know, y'all can ask us. Hit us up on our pages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is the Instagram? Let them know the Instagram.
TBB podcast _ TBB podcast _
And on that page we have the videos where you can follow us on Apple Music and what was the other? Spotify. Yeah,
yes,
man.
Sir. We on there, man.
Happy Father's Day, I guess.
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Right.
I appreciate you being a great father.
yo, just stay motivated, stay empowered, right? And just understand that your decisions, although you think you can get away with things, every decision has a consequence.
Yeah.
You know, so just make sure you're making decisions that land on that positive consequence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keep doing what you're doing, my brother. You're a great father.
Thank you, my brother. You too. And I love my niece, and I can't wait for her and Christian's arranged marriage. Shouts out to our wives who don't believe.
I can't wait to see my nephews this weekend.
Yo, we're gonna have mad fun. I'm so happy. No, we're really gonna have mad fun too. And you always playing around. I'll be on the camera, but yo, we really got business to take care of when you get out here. You always be playing.
Bro, I don't got.
When I'm talking about listen, we got
time for that.
When I'm talking about business, we gotta handle business. See, that's what we talking about. You always want to play around. Anyway, listen.
Whatever.
You got
back
anything to
schedule programming?
You got anything to leave them with?
It's gonna be ups and downs. All my fathers and my men. Make sure you keep God before anything.
Listen, pursue perfection, because even if you fall short, you're still going to be excellent, and that's more than half the people in the world.
That's a fact.
Other than that, we'll see y'all next week. Holla.
Yep. Keep all that too.
God, later.